We are very grateful to you and to all other participants who have shared earlier. Okay, so I have shared that in the group. Okay, hope everyone is able to got the time to go through that. Okay, thanks for all your kind words that you have spoken on the feedback video. Okay, so let's move on. Before we start today's topic, is there any questions, any unanswered queries on yesterday's session? So if there is any unanswered queries or questions on yesterday's session, I would request participants to put it on the chat so that we could go through your questions and then continue with today's topic. Thank you. Thanks for all the wishes on the chat. Okay, so let's so today's topic is credit controls and interest calculations. So what is credit control? So these are two different topics basically. Okay, what do you understand by credit control? When we say credit control, what do you understand by that? And do you have credit controls in your organization? Have you implemented credit controls in your organization? So who has implemented credit controls in your organization? Forget from Tally perspective. Don't worry whether you have implemented in Tally or not. Okay, do you have credit control policies in your organization? Do you follow credit controls? Okay, so Ganesh are planning to implement it. Good. Okay. So what do you understand by credit control? So can anyone give me the input on what credit control is and how it should work basically? Forget Tally perspective. Okay, let us look at how it is done in Tally later. From understanding of credit control itself. Okay, so I'll just give you an example so that you will be able to link to your business how it has to be. Say, assume that I'm one of the FMCG distributors. So I deal with Parle-G biscuits. So I'm the distributor, I buy from the manufacturer and I'm selling it to all retailers. That is my business. I sell only Parle-G biscuits. So I have almost 300 retail units to which I supply on a daily basis, almost on a daily basis. Okay. But most of the time what happens is when I supply the product, they don't give me money. I sell on credit. So assume that I give 10 days of credit. Okay. And I'm also fixing, it is not just 10 days of credit. I'm also fixing, say, like based on the customer credibility, I'm also fixing saying that I don't give credit beyond 5,000 rupees for any of my retailers. Okay. Now, assume retailer A, from whom he's from us he is buying all the Parle-G products on a daily basis. Now he has not paid for 20 days and his credit limit has gone beyond 5,000 rupees. Should we continue to sell to him? So what do you all believe? Should we continue to sell to him? We have given him 5,000 credit and 10 days of credit, but this retailer has not paid for 15 days and it has crossed 5,000 rupee limit. What does it happen? What should the system do? Should it allow to bill further or not? Hello everyone, hope everyone is there on the call. Did you people get my question? Okay, so please put it on the chat. Should we allow to invoice him? Yes or no? Yogesh is saying no, we should not allow him to invoice. Amira Rafiq is saying yes, we should allow him to invoice. Yogesh should not bill as per the credit policy. Rajesh, no. What about others? Dinesh, no, we should not allow him to invoice. Fine Tunes, Ganesh, no, we should not allow him to invoice. Manjunath, no. Okay, the simple answer is no, we should not allow him to invoice. Allow with interest. Okay, so that is the credit policy Jyoti is having in her organization. Yes, few people do that. Allow with interest. Okay, but Jyoti, one thing we need to understand is he's not even paying us the principal. Why will he pay interest? Right? Okay. So the simple answer to the question where I told, okay, we are the Parle-G distributors. We have 300 retailers. We supply them on a daily basis, and we have given 5,000 rupee credit across to all the retailers. So any retailer who crosses 5,000 rupee outstanding beyond 5,000 rupees, okay, the system should automatically stop doing the billing for this customer. That is what credit control is all about, and that is how it has to be implemented. See, because generally what happens, okay, collections happens by sales team most of the time. Invoicing is done by accounts team. Materials are issued by the godown or the stores, right? But if a retailer doesn't pay, to whom it is affecting the most? So if retailer doesn't pay beyond say 10 days, or he has taken worth 5,000 rupee products and he's absconding, so to whom will that affect? Can you all type on the chat box to whom it affects? If a retailer doesn't pay money and he is absconding, whom does it affect? Finance department, accounts department. What will finance department do if someone doesn't pay? They will not account, that's it. Company, yes, who is that user? Can I know your name? Suresh. Yes, Suresh, you are correct. Jyoti, you are correct. So the direct effect is to the owners, to the management. Because if the retailer is absconding, not paying us the due, accounts department will not account, that's it. They will not account the receipt, it will just be showing outstanding. Okay, stores department will say, I don't know, they asked for the invoice, they showed the invoice, I issued the material. Sales team will say, sir, I went there for 3 times, sir, I'm not able to locate him, he has not even opened his stores. So ultimately loss is for the company. Okay, but who is doing all this? Who is generating the invoice? Who is issuing the materials? These are all done by the employees of the organization. But if the money is not collected, it is directly affecting the management. So it is very important to have a credit control policy in the organization, and the software, whichever the software the customer uses, should have the facility to adopt to that credit control management. That is what Tally software is enabled with. That is what the credit controls in Tally is enabled with. All right. So now let us just go to Tally and see how the credit control needs to be configured. Okay. So critical thing that you need to understand, one is credit control, credit policy. Okay. If is done to ensure that money is collected well within time. Second, the policy is designed to ensure that there is no huge loss if some of our customers are not paying us. Okay, because we are not dependent on one customer, okay, so that my business will go for a task. Okay, so now let us just go to our presentation. So the purpose of the training remains the same, to ensure we increase the efficiency and eliminate duplication of work. Okay, and we need to start measuring this in every training that we do and cross check whether are we going towards that objective or not, achieving these purposes or not. Right? Okay. So there are two things that we need to do. First is we need to set up the credit controls, that is do the configurations in Tally. Then we need to look at the data entry level, how does it affect. Okay. So okay, so now let us come back to, let's come to Tally. Let's open Tally. Is everyone able to see my Tally screen? Can you put on chat yes or no? Okay, that's great. Okay. So the same company, okay, we have not changed the company. It's the same company, what we are using it for the training purpose. We'll continue with the same company. Okay. So the first thing is I need to set up credit controls for all my customers. So customers comes under which group? In Tally, customers comes under which group? Sundry debtors. Yes, Krishna Prasad. All customers basically comes under sundry debtors. Correct, Manjula. Nisha, yes, you are right. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to go and set up the credit control at the sundry debtors ledgers level. So to do that, the first thing is you need to go and enable the credit control as a feature in Tally. For that, on gateway of Tally, press F11 features. Okay, on F11 features, under accounting features, here you have a category called budgets and scenario management. I'm sorry. Yeah. In budgets and scenario management, there is an option called maintain budgets and controls. So these are two different things. One is budgets and one is controls. Okay. So you need to enable that because currently it's already enabled because we went through the budget session. Okay. That's already there. Right. So we have just enabled this functionality, maintain budgets and controls. So once when you enable this option, Control A to accept, then go to ledger of a sundry debtor. Say example, accounts info, ledger, alter. We currently have a lot of ledgers, a lot of debtors we have in the system. Okay. So before we doing that, first let us look at what are all the balances each ledger has. I'm just going to display statement of accounts outstanding for the group sundry debtors. Okay, so if I just go ledger wise. Example, let us just take for Royal Agencies and Sarvana Agencies. So Royal Agencies, currently the outstanding is 4,68,250. Correct? And Sarvana Agencies is 1,380 rupees. So we'll just go and set up the credit limit for these parties. Okay. So while you are looking at the report, if you want to go to the alteration screen of the master, in this case the ledger, how do you do that? So one way is coming out of this, going to gateway of tally and accounts info, ledger, alter. But from this screen, if you want to directly go to the alteration screen of the master, what is the shortcut key that you need to use? Does anyone know what is the shortcut key to go to masters? Control enter. Manjula, yes, you are correct. Control enter. It will automatically take you to the master. Krishna Prasad, yes, you are correct. Okay, so I'm just pressing control enter on my keyboard. So this automatically takes you to the ledger alteration screen. Now you could see there are multiple things over here. One is default credit period. See, while we were looking at the bills, that is new reference against reference, when we went through the receivables and payables management, okay, we were updating how many days of credit it is required. Correct? When we are doing an invoicing, we are saying how many days of credit. But for a party, if there is standard days of credit, say example 10 days of credit every time, so you could define that in your master. Okay, check for credit days during voucher entry. If you want, you could enable this. Then if you look at here, specify credit limit. So there is a credit limit you could specify. Example, I told you as 5,000 rupees as credit limit. Similarly, for each customer, okay, organization might have different credit limit based on what kind of business they give. Okay, so now in this example, I'll say for Royal Agencies, credit limit is 5 lakhs. Okay, using post-dated transactions or for all the transactions. So how do you want to treat this? You also want to include post-dated transactions or not, is what it is. Okay, so currently I'm just saying no. Okay, let me not confuse you people. Okay, and again I go to Sarvana Agencies, and for Sarvana Agencies there is 30 days of credit and 5,000 rupees, the maximum limit of credit is what I have defined. Okay, so I've saved this, Royal Agencies and Sarvana Agencies. Similarly, you could go to every party and set up what is the credit days and what is the credit limit. Is that clear? Any questions on this? So any questions on how to enable credit controls on F11 and how to set up credit controls on ledger? Okay, fine, let's move on. So now we have set up the configuration. Okay, so now I'm just going and trying to make few transactions. So I'm trying to make, I'm going to update few sales entries. I've set up the credit limit for both Royal Agencies and Sarvana. So now I'm just going to transaction. I'll come out of this. Voucher entry, F8 sales, 1920. Okay, so currently what is the balance of Royal Agencies? It is some 4,68,000 some value, right? Okay, so I'm just changing the date to 16th December. Royal Agencies Okay, so once when I select Royal Agency, see here, automatically 10 days of credit is picked from the master. You had defined this in the master of Royal Agencies. And on the top, you could see here, the current balance is 4,68,250 and credit limit is 5 lakhs. Is this clear? On the screen, it is showing you what is the current outstanding balance and what is the credit limit this customer is entitled for. Okay, so now as usual, okay, I'm just taking one cricket bat. Okay, not applicable, not applicable. 10 numbers, 10,000 rupees. Okay, 11,800. Okay, and I'm paying 200 rupees for, I'm collecting 200 rupees for transportation charges. Will this transaction be accepted? So what do you all believe? Will this transaction be accepted? Yes, most of the users are saying yes, because the credit limit is 5 lakhs, 4,68,000 is the current outstanding balance. So effectively, I still have 31,000 rupees of credit, and this bill value is just 12,000 rupees. Yes, it will accept. So we'll just go to Tally and see whether this will accept. Yes, it got accepted. Okay. So let me make one more transaction. I'm just changing the date. Okay, I'm making one more transaction for Royal Agencies. Okay, this time, okay, I'm just selecting Sony. Which TV is that? 42-inch. Two numbers, 60,000 rupees. Okay, so automatically all my tax, everything is calculated. 1,000 rupees is for transportation charges. Will this transaction be accepted? No. Correct. Because my credit limit is 5 lakhs. Currently, I have some 19,750 as balance credit, and the transaction value is 71,000 rupees. Okay, so if you try to save this transaction, so it's giving a message saying that credit limit for Royal is 5 lakh and it has got exceeded. Current balance, if I accept this transaction, it will become 5,52,050 rupees. And it's giving an error. It is not a warning. Two different things. In Tally, few of the places you get warning. In few of the places you get error. Error means it will not allow you to take forward. Okay, when this will be helpful for us? Say example, I was just giving you an example of Parle-G distributor. Okay, so if we don't collect in time, the most affected is the owner of the organization. But owner will not sit and do the data entry, right? Data entry is most of the time done by an accounts department. Accounts team is raising an invoice based on what sales team has told. So the work is done by the accounts team and the sales team. Okay, but if something goes wrong, the effect of it is for the owner. So now what we could do is, a owner can set up these things in Tally so that he need not worry. Whoever is doing the invoicing, it will not allow to invoice beyond this given credit limit. Is that fine? Are there any questions on this? Are there any questions on how to do a transaction and see how the credit limits are defined? Okay, and what is going to happen if it exceeds the credit limit? Okay, superb. Okay, so now the only thing is there are two things that could happen. One is the billing for royal agencies cannot be done. So further we could not invoice royal agencies. So two things can happen. One is royal agencies starts paying us, and he will ensure that the credit limit is always less than 5 lakhs. That is the best possible solution. Go collect money from royal agencies. The second thing that could happen is we will increase the credit limit for royal agencies. Okay, let me give you a scenario. So royal agencies is buying Sony TV 42-inch from us. So he always buys from us. Okay, now because of lockdown period, okay, he's not able to pay us. He generally gives us money in time, but for some specific reason, okay, for some personal reason or some specific reason, he is not able to pay in time. Okay, but now we are in, like, example I'm saying, okay, we are in Deepavali season. Okay, so royal agencies believes that he will get more and more orders that he could supply. He doesn't want to lose that business. Okay, me as an organization to whom Saraswati Traders, where we are supplying to royal agencies, we also know that royal agencies generally pays in time. Okay, now really he has some problem. Okay, so Mr. Rafiq of royal agencies will call us and say, sir, please extend this credit for few more days or few more lakhs of rupees. I'll ensure that by 30th I'm going to pay you. So I might decide, okay, let me extend the credit limit of royal agencies to 7 lakh, right? So then what I could do is I could go back to royal agencies master and change this to 7 lakhs. Okay, now I could continue to do this transaction and it will accept. Right? Any questions on this? So the system is just checking whether the credit limit, is it exceeding the credit limit or not, and then it is just stopping the invoices, generation of new invoices, until and unless the balances are cleared. Will this be helpful in your organization? How many of you believe that it is helpful in your organization? Type on chat yes. Okay, Rafiq believes yes, it's helpful in his organization. Ashwini from Extrude Horn, Manjunath, Geeta, Shrikant, Jyoti. Yes, all of you believe that yes, it is helpful in your organization. Fine Tunes, Ganesh, yes. Will you implement it as soon as you go to your office? Rupesh, yes. Great, sir. So how many of you will implement? Implement yourself without our support. Shrikant, Ashwini, Rafiq, Krishna Prasad, for few sister companies. Okay, irrespective, whichever company. That's good. Okay. Let's move on. Are there any questions? Fine. So let's go back to our presentation. So what we saw was credit control by days and credit control by limit. That is what we saw in the master. You could default give the credit control in number of days, and also give credit control in terms of value. One thing that you need to understand, if the credit control surpasses the number of days, Tally will not stop from doing the data entry, in completing the data entry. Only if it crosses credit limit, then only it will stop you from doing the data entry. So these are two different things. Credit control by days, it is to ensure that default credit period is set on the invoice. So no one can go and change. Say example, I have set for 10 days for Royal Agencies. No one can go and change it to 15 days. It is default 10 days. But in this case, if you are just set only credit days, the system will not disable to save the invoices if it has crossed the due dates. But if it has crossed the limit, credit limit that is defined, it will not allow you to do new sale entries. Okay. Hope this is clear. Then we saw interest. Okay, so this is about your credit control. Okay, so there are two topics that today we are discussing. One is credit controls and one is interest calculations. So what I showed you now, what we discussed now is about the credit controls. So are there any questions on this credit control? I'm just giving 30 seconds. If there is any questions, please put it on your chat, or if someone wants to speak, I could unmute you so that you could ask your queries. Okay, so Shashi Kumar is asking how to enable credit control. Okay, so I'll just take you through once again. Very simple. Go to Tally. On gateway of Tally, you have F11 features. Click on F11 features. Go to accounting features. In accounting features, you have a category called budgets and scenario management. Under budgets and scenario management, the first option is maintain budgets and controls. So these are two different things. Budget is one capability, controls are second capability. Okay, so to enable controls, this is what you need to enable. Say because the budgets and controls are already enabled, since we did the budget session, in the budget session we had already enabled this capability. So that is how you need to enable this. Once when you enable, automatically it will start showing in your masters and start affecting on your transactions. Hope Shashikant it's clear. Okay. Let's move on. The next capability that we will be discussing on Tally is interest calculations. So what is interest calculations? So what is your understanding of interest calculation? Does anyone want to answer? What's your understanding of interest calculations? Has any organization in this participants have implemented interest calculations on Tally? No. Okay. Pallavi Pawar is saying no, they have not implemented. So has anyone implemented as per RBI rules? So what is as per RBI rules? Bank interest. No, that is not the one. What supports in Tally is not the bank interest. That is not the one. It will be charged for delayed payment. Exactly, Shashikant. The interest that needs to be charged for delayed payments. Say, example, I have given 10 days of credit. My customer pays me after 40 days. What should I do? Exactly right, Rajesh. If my customer doesn't pay in the agreed time, we need to charge interest. See, you need to understand very simple. Okay, you have to think. So those who are in the those who are attending the training, who are not, who are from the accounts department, okay, not the owners that who are the part of this session, those who are in the accounts department or those who are typically playing an employee role in an organization, you have to start thinking as employers. That is when you will understand the true benefit of this capability. See, now let me give you an example, simple example. Okay, I have started a business with 10,000 rupees capital. Okay, so I'm a dealer of Parle-G biscuits. Okay, so what I do is I go buy from a wholesaler and supplying it to retailers. Okay, now day one, I have got 10,000 rupee capital. I just went ahead, okay, and bought Parle-G biscuits and started giving, started supplying to all retailers. Okay, so my supplier has told, look, Mahesh, I'll give you 10 days of credit. Within 10 days, you have to pay me 10,000 rupees flat. Okay, I agree with him. So he has supplied me all the goods. Now I'm going and selling to all the retailers. Okay, so retailers, what should I do? How many days of credit I need to give to retailers? Should I give credit? Should I not give credit? If at all I want to give credit, how many days I need to give? Rajesh, 5 days. Okay, any others? Yeah, whatever it is, it should be less than 10 days. Because on the 10th day, I need to pay to my supplier. Ganesh exactly will explain to you how you could do it. In Tally, you could completely do this. Okay, Dinesh, not more than 4 days. Ganesh, we will come to your example and we'll show it to you. Okay, so typically, I have got 10,000 rupee capital. I went and bought biscuits and I'm supplying to the retailers. Okay, and I have got 10 days of credit from my supplier. By 10th day, I should have collected all that money and paid to him. Otherwise, I'm not collecting in time. So now assume that I've given 5 days of credit to everyone. Okay, so since I've given 5 days of credit to everyone and 2 retailers didn't pay. So what is going to happen? I need to pay from my pocket and give it to the supplier. Then what is going to happen is, while buying, I am paying in time and buying the products, but I'm not able to collect from the market. So typically what is happening, my capital is getting eroded. I'm losing money in my capital. Then slowly my business will die because I'm not able to collect in time. I'm not able to turn out the money. Okay, so one strict message that I'm giving to all my retailers saying, see, look, boss, if you are not paying within 5 days, I will charge 2% interest per month or whatever, 1% interest per month or 1% interest per day, whichever the way you have your credit policies. And you are supposed to pay along with that interest. All right. So we need to know who is not paying us within time and how much of interest we need to collect, because rather than doing this Parle-G business, if I had kept 10,000 rupees in the bank would have given me 6% interest. Why should I do this business? Or if I had gone and invested this in stock market, okay, the way the stock market is going down and coming up, I would have made more money in that. Why should I do Parle-G biscuit business? Right? So these are all some of the questions that you as a owner of the organization should ask yourself and see how my business is performing. Okay, that was the reason I almost told in every session, okay, in business, cash is the king. Cash is like the blood in your body. If the blood stops flowing, the body is dead. Similarly, in the business, if the cash stops flowing, your business will die. Right? Okay, so now let us just go and see how to configure this interest and how to check in the reports, or how to do it in the transaction and how to check in the reports. Right? Any questions before we get into Tally? Okay, so we'll just move on. So to enable to enable interest calculations in Tally, the first and the foremost thing is, again, go back to your features on Gateway of Tally, accounting features. In accounting features, under outstanding management, there is something called activate interest calculations. Okay, so there are two ways of doing interest calculation. One is the simple method and second is the advanced parameters. So first, let us just go to simple method of calculating interest. What is this? Okay, so I've just enabled on F11 accounting features, activate interest calculations. Right? Now let me take the same two parties, Sarvana and Royal Agencies, for example. So now what is my balance outstanding? Royal Agencies 5,52,000 and Sarvana Agencies 1,380. Now if I go age wise or bill wise, okay, bill wise or age wise, say example, if I say age wise by due date, up to 45 days, 45 to 90 days, 90 and above, say example, I'm just saying that out of 5,52,000, 2,90,000 is less than 45 days and 2,61,000 is more than 90 days. And all this 1,380 rupees is more than 90 days. Right? So now I want to set up the credit limits for these two customers. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to Royal Agencies, Control Enter. Once when I enable this cost, this interest calculation, you get a new option in master screen of the ledger called activate interest calculation. So I'm just enabling, yes, activate this interest calculation. How it has to work? Calculate transaction by transaction or for the balancing amount. How do you want to calculate the interest? Say example, I've done two bills, one on 1st of April and one on 10th of April. So 1st of April is due by 5th of April, 10th of April bill is due by 15th of April. So interest should start calculating from 6th of April for first bill and 16th of April for second bill, or by default it has to calculate on the closing balance. irrespective of the dates of the bill. That is what the first option is all about. Calculate interest transaction by transaction, or you want to calculate on closing balance. If you want to calculate on closing balance, let this option be no. If you want to calculate interest on bill by bill, then make this as yes. Okay, then override parameters for each transaction means, do you want to allow making changes during the transaction or not? While making a transaction, do you want to say, no, this bill is for 3%, not 2%? That's exactly what it means. So override parameters for each transaction, I don't want to override. By default, it should take example 2%. Okay, for all amounts added or for all amounts deducted, for which you have to do. Okay, that's what it's asking. I want bill wise, that's all. At say example, 2% per what? Per 30-day month, for 365-day year, for calendar month, or for calendar year. Okay, say example, I'm just specifying calendar month. Based on number of days, just calculate. Okay, 2% interest has to be charged, is what I have specified for Royal Agency. I'll come to Sarvana agencies. Okay, and I'll say, boss, Sarvana agencies, no problem. You generally pay in time, but for some reason you are not able to pay. So I'm telling him, I'll charge him only 1% for calendar month. Or in this case, let me take 365-day year to see how the calculations are happening, or calendar year, whichever the option. Say example, I'll just take calendar year. Okay, this is what you will set in the master. This is for simple interest calculation I am showing you. Okay, so now let's go and make two transactions, one for Royal Agencies and one for Sarvana agencies. So example, I'm just going, today is 18th of December. Okay, so I'm going to Royal Agencies and making one bill for Annapurna Atta. Okay, 50 kgs at 200 rupees, 10,000 rupees. Transportation charges 100 rupees. So 11,900 rupees. And it is just, see here, it is not allowing you to change the credit limit because we have set the credit days as 10 days. So at the user level, user cannot change. Sales done. Okay, it's on 18th and the credit limit is for 10 days. By 28th of December, this bill has to be paid. So while making data entry, you don't find any difference. Data entry is simply done without any problem. Okay, say example here, I'll take Sarvana agencies, 30 days of credit. Okay, so here also I'm just selling him the same 50 kgs. Okay, so now assume it might not allow because I think the credit limit is only 5,000, right? We have done 10,000 rupee value. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'm just increasing his credit limit to 20,000. Now it will allow me to complete the transaction. Okay, so on same 18th, we have done two transactions for two different parties with the same value, with the same quantity, same item, everything. So I have two transactions. So Sarvana, I have told him the interest calculation is 1% for 365-day year. But for Royal Agencies, I'm charging 2% per month. That is what I have done the configuration. So to just check the different variations in the report. So at the transaction level, in the simple method of interest calculation, there is no change. The way you do the transaction is one and the same. Right? So now let us just go and see. Okay, so my last date of transaction is 18th of December. But payables are on 28th or 30th of December. Some things are there, right? So let me just make one simple payment transaction to book my expenses. Nothing to do with Royal Agencies or Sarvana. Okay, let me just say I'm paying cash towards electricity and water, 2,600 rupees. Why am I doing this transaction? Sorry, I did it for 18th. I'll change it to 31st. The simple reason I'm doing the transaction is to say that my last date of transaction now stands 31st of October to see the reports. That's all. Okay. So now if I want to look at how much of interest I need to collect from Royal Agency and from Sarvana. So you could go to display, statement of accounts. You have a new menu called interest calculations. Once when you go to interest calculations, okay, is it receivable or payable? You want to see for all the parties put together, you could go to receivables. If you want to check for a specific party, then you could go to ledger. So for example, now I want to check to start with Sarvana Agencies. I'm just going to ledger. So it will list out only parties who have been enabled with interest calculations. Now I'm going to Sarvana Agencies. So what is the interest that we need to collect? See here it is saying so the report is for 1st April to 31st December. On the first bill, 1,380 rupees. Okay, pending amount. And it is saying interest is 5 rupees 9 paisa. And on the second bill where the transaction is on 18th of December, bill number 13, 10,000 rupees is the balance. Amount is 3 rupee 55 paisa. So if you want to know how this interest are calculated, so here there is an option, shift enter, it will show you the option. 1,380 rupees, date of transaction is 19th of August. Interest is calculated till 31st of December for 135 days at 1% per year, 1% per calendar year. So if you want to cross check how the interest is calculated, okay, so 1,380 rupees, right, for 135 days. So 1,380 divided by calendar year. So the current calendar year is 1920. So what is the number of days in 1920? 366, because it's a leap year. Right? Into 135 days. It is 509.0162 divided by 100. Right? So if you go to this and say divided by 100, what is the amount you got? 5 rupee 0902 paise. So it is rounding off to the nearest 2 decimal. It is 5 rupee 9 paise is the interest that you need to collect. Is that correct? Let me go to the second transaction. Okay, so if you go to the second transaction over here, shift enter, it is showing you the number of days. The number of days is 13 days. So similarly do a calculation on 10,000 rupees divided by 366 days into 13 days is 355.19 divided by 100 is 3 rupee 55 paisa. This is the interest that you need to charge as on 31st December. It is not on some other date. As of today, what is the interest that we are supposed to collect? Now, if I want to look at as at 31st March, what will be the interest? Very simple. Come back to your reports. While the report is showing for up to today, just go and change the reporting period to 31st March 2020. Now the amounts have changed. It has become 8 rupee 52 paisa and 28 rupee 42 paisa. Right? Are you able to follow this? So there are two different examples. Okay, currently what I'm showing you is 1% per calendar year is what we are looking at. Okay, now let us go to Royal Agencies. Royal Agencies, if you look at, okay, there are multiple bills because we had used this example for doing every kind of transactions. And the calculation type here is 2% per month. It is not per year, it is per month. So it is showing you bill wise what is the interest that you need to collect as at 31st December. And the total interest payable on 5,63,950 amount is 34,930 rupees. Okay. The reason is today, if you want to get a loan in the market, when I say market, any financier basically, and if it is an unsecured loans, including banks, this is the kind of interest that they charge. Almost they charge 18% compounded interest per year, which will come to some 32-33%. Right? So now you just look at this. Okay, if I just look only the outstanding statement, I might just find, was okay, what's so big deal? I need to collect some 5.63 lakhs. But what is the notional loss you had? Because he's not paying in time. Is 34,000 rupees. Effectively, what it says is, if you had this kind of money and if you had lent it out to someone else, you would have earned 34,000 rupees. Right? So example, let us just go and check out one or two calculations, how these calculations are coming. Shift enter. See this bill of 10,000 rupees. Okay. On 10,000 rupees, it is calculated for 140 days at 2% per month. And for 9,900, because there was a partial payment, it will also consider the partial payments. For 9,900, it is calculating for 135 days because within 5 days, this person paid us 100 rupees and 9,900 is still pending. Right? So 917 plus 875 is totaling to your 1,971. So how does this calculations have come? Again, you need to go to your calculator and check. Okay, so on 10,000 rupees divided by, it is saying, so the calculations is on calendar month. Okay, so you need to check out calendar month from 1st April to 18th August for 140 days. Okay, so in April it was 30 days, May 31 days, June 30 days, July 31 days, August is 18 days. So 30 plus 31 61 plus 30 91. 30 plus 31 61. June is 30 91. July is 31 122. August is 18. 140 days. Right? That is what it is showing, 140 days. So divided by 366 into 140. So we need to calculate 2%. Right? So you need to say into, so you need to have all this calculation parameters into 0.02. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, I'll just make the calculations once again. Okay, so 10,000 rupees divided by 140 days, right? Okay, this is per month. 2% per month. So 140 this thing, so it is coming to 916. Okay, so it is divided by 366 into 140. Okay, 3,823. Okay, and it is 140 days is 2% per month is basically April, May, June, July, 4. Okay, 4 months and 18 days. So it has to calculate for 4 months and 18 days. So typically, if I just take 18 days will be equal to what? I'm just doing some calculations. Just hold on. 18 divided by 30 into 100, which is typically 0.6. Okay, 4 months, 4.6. So it is 3825.136 into 4.6. 100. Okay, divided by 2, 879, 916. Okay. See, I'll come back to this calculation. I'll exactly tell you how these calculations are happening. Okay, because we have taken calendar month. Okay, but these calculations are perfect. Let me just work on Excel and I'll revert back to you. Okay, but this is how the calculations are done. Okay, so let me just work on the Excel sheet for all this thing, and I'll be able to show you in the second session when we are working on this. Okay, so you could look at in some of the invoices there are some partial payments, so it is calculating for the partial period, right? Any questions on this? How to look at the report, how to configure this? Are there any queries, questions? Okay, so some of the questions I have not gone through. Hope to fix the credit limit inventory system is not mandatory. No, it is not mandatory. Inventory systems are not mandatory. It is only for your ledgers. Suresh is saying if we get partial payment received from Sarvana, then interest is reduced. Yes, it is reduced. Rakesh, 2% per month is equal to 24% per year. Rakesh, I'll come back to that. I want to just work on Excel and I'll revert back to you. Okay, so Vinay, CA Vinay is telling us it is 10,000 divided by 366 into 140 into 24 by 100. Okay, so I think this will work. Yeah, so it is 2%, 2% per month is 24%. Yeah, so the calculation is our CA Vinay is helping us to do the calculation. Thank you, CA Vinay. So he is telling us it is actually 10%. Sorry, 10,000. Okay, so I'm just looking at the. So it is. Say it is 10,000 divided by 366 into 140 into 24 by 100 divided by 366 into 140. Okay, into 24% by 100. It is 918.02. It is showing us 916.13. Okay, it is somewhere near that, but I will show you. I'll just do some workings, and in the second half I'll show you how exactly the interest is calculated. It's almost near to that, whatever CA Vinay is telling us. Right? Okay. 10,000 into 4.6 into 2% will also work. So let me just check out 10,000 into 4.6 into 2%. $10,000 into 4.6 into 2%. Sorry. Okay. 10,000 into 4.6%. Sorry. Six. $920. Okay, somewhere near that, but exactly it has to give this number. I'll revert back to you. Okay. So this is how you need to do the interest calculation. And one more thing in the master. Okay, so let me just take you through other parameters in the simple interest calculation. Okay, so once when you get into master's accounts info ledger alter for Royal Agencies, say example. So here you have interest calculation. Then you had a second option where it told override parameters for each transaction. If you enable this, then at the time of doing data entry, the user can go and change the parameters. So example, if you enable this, so I've just enabled this for Royal Agencies. Now, if we do a transaction, say example, sales entry, Royal Agencies. Sorry, I think I clicked on something. Okay, so hope everyone is able to see my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen over here? One second, just hold on. I think there was some configuration, something got changed. One sec, just be on the line. Okay, so hope everyone is able to see my screen over here. Okay, so I'm just taking back once again. Okay, so now I'm just doing a new transaction for Royal Agencies. Since we have enabled override parameters during the transaction, so I'm just making a new transaction over here. And once when you select bill-wise details, on completion of bill-wise details, a new screen is opening. So here, if you want for this specific transaction, I don't want to charge 2%, I want to charge 1.5%. So at the user level, this can be changed. You will have an option to alter. So if you are enabling override parameters. Is this clear? So on this transaction, I'm charging him 1.5%. Okay. So any questions on these things? Whatever we discussed. So today we have just discussed on in this, we have just discussed only on simple interest calculations. Okay, there are some advanced parameters also. Okay, we could go and check that advanced parameters in the next session. Are there any questions on the topics that we discussed today? So if there are any questions, please put it on your chat, or if anyone wants to speak, please put it on your chat so that I can open your unmute you so that you could speak. And parallel, let us just go to the presentation and look at what are all the points that we wanted to cover. Okay, so credit by days, credit by control, interest calculation, simple and advanced. So we are just dealing with only with simple today. In this session, we have just looked at only simple, and I need to come back on how the interest is getting calculated. Okay, when we have given 365, calendar year, that I will just work on an Excel sheet and I will explain to you in the second session. And in the next session, we will also look at advanced parameters. So if there are any questions, please put it on your chat. Vinay, can the system automatically generate debit note for the interest amount that we have recovered? Okay, so on standard default tally, okay, it is only, see, to the extent of report that is available. Okay, once when you go to display, statement of accounts, interest calculation, say example, I'm just going for Royal Agencies, the interest calculation report is available. So to the extent of this, okay, on standard tally it's available. You have to go and manually pass the entry. The simple reason being, first you need to talk to Royal Agencies and first take his concurrence before passing the transaction. See, the problem is Royal Agency is not even paying the principal. Why will he pay the interest? That is one. And this report is meant for internal consumption. So the automated entries are not possible. But of course, we could customize this. Okay, and on this report, we could give you an option to convert this to a interest journal. Okay, we could work on that, but that needs to be customized. That is not part of the standard tally software. Okay, any other questions? So if there are any questions, please put it on your chat. Okay, if anyone wants to speak, I can open up the chat so that you could speak.